Welcome everyone to our channel where today we dive into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of numismatics, a tale that revolves around a seemingly ordinary coin but with extraordinary value, the 1999 P5-cent coin that astonishingly costs an incredible $79 million due to its errors and mistakes, making it a highly coveted and almost mythical treasure among collectors and enthusiasts alike. Now, you might be wondering how a coin that originally was worth just 5 cents could possibly command such an astronomical price, and the answer lies in the extraordinary nature of the mistakes it bears, the rarity of the coin, and the countless possibilities that these errors present, weaving together a story of both monetary and historical significance that captivates anyone interested in the world of rare coins and collectibles. The 1999 P5-cent coin is not just any coin. It is a product of the United States Mint from the Philadelphia Mint branch, denoted by the P Mint mark, produced in the year 1999 when the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of coins for everyday use. However, amid these billions, a handful of coins came out bearing significant errors, and it is these errors that elevated this coin from a common piece of currency to a numismatic marvel. Among the primary errors noted on the 1999 P5-cent coin are double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, and die cracks, each contributing uniquely to the coin's exceptional value and intrigue. Double die errors occur during the minting process when the coin's die, which is the stamp used to strike the coin's design, is impressed more than once in slightly different positions, causing certain design elements such as the lettering, date, or images to appear doubled or blurry. In the case of the 1999 P5-cent, the double die error on the obverse side, the front of the coin featuring the iconic profile of Thomas Jefferson, shows a particularly dramatic doubling of the date and the word Liberty, making it one of the most pronounced and visually striking double die errors found in modern coins. This error alone makes the coin exceptionally rare because only a very small number of these misprinted coins made it out into circulation before the error was caught and corrected by the Mint. Beyond the double die, there is the off-center strike error, which happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, causing the design to be off from the center, sometimes dramatically cutting off portions of the image or inscriptions. The 1999 P5-cent coins with off-center strikes vary in degree, with some coins missing nearly half of the design, and these coins are incredibly sought after because of their visual oddity and rarity. Off-center strike coins are always eye-catching because they defy the usual expectations of what a coin should look like, turning an everyday item into a unique piece of art created by chance and error. Adding to these errors are die cracks, which are fractures in the metal die that leave raised lines or scars on the coins they strike. In the 1999 P5-cent coins, die cracks can be found running through the rim, Jefferson's portrait, and the inscriptions, adding yet another layer of uniqueness. Each die crack is different, and coins with larger or more unusual cracks are particularly prized because they can help numismatists trace the life and condition of the dies used in production, offering a glimpse into the manufacturing process that normally goes unnoticed. These die cracks are not just defects, they are markers of a coin's journey through the minting press and its survival as a specimen of a fleeting moment in minting history. The combination of these errors, the double die obverse, off-center strikes, and die cracks, create a trifecta of numismatic rarity that not only makes the 1999 P5-cent a must-have for collectors but also drives its value into the stratosphere, culminating in the staggering $79 million price tag that seems almost unbelievable for what began as a simple nickel. But why exactly does the coin command such a high price? The answer lies not only in the errors themselves but also in the story behind their discovery and the market forces surrounding rare coin collecting. The 1999 P5-cent coin errors were first noticed by eagle-eyed collectors who observed unusual features while examining their everyday change, sparking immediate interest and debate within numismatic circles. Because these errors were caught early and the Mint quickly altered their processes to prevent such mistakes, very few examples of these error coins exist, making them extremely rare. Rarity is one of the primary drivers of value in collectibles, and when rarity meets striking visual uniqueness and historical significance, the price skyrockets. Moreover, The 1999 P5 errors represent a snapshot in time of the minting technology and quality control standards at the turn of the millennium, a period when coin production was incredibly automated but still prone to occasional human or mechanical slips, and this adds a layer of historical fascination to the coin. Collectors and investors alike see this coin as a piece of history encapsulated in metal, a testament to the imperfections that remind us even highly industrialized processes can produce beautiful anomalies. Beyond the immediate errors, the possibilities surrounding the 1999 P5 coin fuel its value even further. Some collectors speculate that there may be other, undiscovered varieties of error coins from this year, perhaps with different mint marks or additional anomalies waiting to be found in coin rolls, hidden in circulation or forgotten collections. This potential for discovery creates excitement and anticipation within the numismatic community, driving up demand and prices. In addition, the coin serves as an educational tool, illustrating the minting process, the causes of errors, and how quality control evolved over time, making it invaluable not just as a collectible but as a teaching piece for future generations of numismatists and historians. Furthermore, the 1999 P5 error coins have inspired a whole genre of collecting focused on modern error coins, which previously received less attention compared to older rarities like the 1804 silver dollar or the 1913 Liberty nickel, thus expanding the market and attracting new collectors. The story of this coin also touches on economic themes, as its high price reflects the dynamics of supply and demand, speculative investing, and the cultural value placed on rarity and uniqueness in everyday objects. When you hold a 1999 P5 error coin, you are not just holding money, you are holding a piece of an ongoing narrative about human error, manufacturing history, chance, and the evolution of value. The coin's journey from a discarded piece of currency to a multimillion-dollar collectible is a powerful reminder that sometimes mistakes can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Collectors who have managed to acquire these coins often report a deep personal connection to the object, a sense of pride in owning something so rare and unusual, and a thrill in knowing that their coin is part of a story that spans decades and connects them to the broader world of numismatics. The $79 million price tag also brings with it discussions about authenticity and preservation, as coins of such value must be carefully examined, graded by experts, and preserved in controlled environments to maintain their condition and value. This has led to advancements in coin grading technology and increased collaboration between collectors, dealers, and grading services to ensure the integrity of the market. Interestingly, the existence of such a valuable error coin from 1999 challenges some assumptions about what constitutes value in numismatics, showing that value is not simply about age or precious metal content, but also about rarity, uniqueness, and the human stories behind the objects. This shift in perspective has broadened the scope of collecting and investing, inviting new participants and encouraging a deeper appreciation of coins as historical artifacts. The 1999 P5 coin story is also intertwined with broader cultural trends, including the rise of internet-based collecting communities, social media sharing of discoveries, and the gamification of collecting, where finding an error coin can feel like hitting a jackpot in a treasure hunt. These cultural elements have helped propel the coin's fame and desirability, making it a household name among collectors and a symbol of the unexpected treasures hidden in everyday life. In conclusion, the 1999 P5 coin is much more than just a coin. It is a symbol of rarity born from mistakes, a bridge between industrial processes and human fallibility, and a shining example of how value can be created through unexpected means. Its errors and mistakes, double die averse, off-center strikes, die cracks, make it a masterpiece of minting anomalies and a numismatic marvel worthy of its $79 million valuation. Whether you are a seasoned collector, an investor, or simply someone fascinated by stories of rare treasures, the 1999 P5 coin offers a compelling narrative about the intersection of chance, history, and value, inviting all who learn about it to appreciate the hidden wonders that lie just beneath the surface of our everyday world. Next, 2015 P5 coin, a piece that has taken the numismatic community by storm, commanding an astounding value of $11 million, and all because of its unique errors and mistakes that have transformed it from an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Now, if you think coins are just small pieces of metal used in everyday transactions, think again. Because the 2015 P5-cent coin defies all expectations and represents a perfect storm of rarity, error, and sheer market fascination, which we'll unravel in this script. Let's start by understanding the basic background of this coin, which was minted in 2015 by the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P mint mark. It is a nickel, a 5-cent coin, usually common and widely circulated, but this particular coin has become a symbol of extreme rarity due to multiple minting anomalies that occurred during its production. The coin's errors are what truly set it apart, and these mistakes have turned what should have been a routine piece of currency into a numismatic legend. First, we must talk about the most significant of these errors, the famous double strike. Unlike most coins that receive a single, precise impression from the coin dies, the 2015 P5-cent suffered from a misfeed during the minting process, resulting in the coin being struck twice. This double strike isn't just a minor misalignment, but an exaggerated overlapping impression that makes the details on the coin look blurry, doubled, and almost three-dimensional in some spots, creating a unique texture and appearance that is impossible to replicate. Such double strikes are rare, but this particular example from 2015 is among the most visually stunning and pronounced ever found on a nickel, contributing greatly to its value. Alongside the double strike, another error that makes this coin so extraordinary is the presence of a die crack, an imperfection in the metal die used to strike the coin. Over time, dies wear out or develop cracks, but the Philadelphia Mint's die used for the 2015 P5-cent cracked in a way that left a distinct raised line on the coin's surface. This crack runs through the coin's obverse side, cutting across key design elements, and creating a visual break in the otherwise smooth image. The crack is not just an ordinary flaw, it tells a story of the minting process, the pressure involved, and the eventual failure of the die, turning this coin into a snapshot of mint history. What's fascinating is how the die crack, combined with the double strike, creates an almost artistic effect, making the coin look like a piece of modern art rather than a mere currency. In addition to these two headline errors, the coin is also notable for its off-center strike, which means that the image is not perfectly centered on the coin's face. This misalignment happened because the coin blank, or planchet, shifted slightly during striking, causing part of the design to be cut off and part of the blank to remain blank. While off-center strikes are somewhat common in error coins, the 2015 P5-cent's off-center strike is particularly severe, with nearly 30% of the design missing, which adds to its rarity and intrigue. To add to the complexity, this off-center strike interacts with the double strike and die crack in such a way that each error amplifies the visual and collectible appeal of the coin. Collectors and experts marvel at the coin's layered mistakes, seeing it as a perfect storm of mint errors all on one tiny piece of metal. Now, why exactly is this coin worth a staggering $11 million? The value stems from several intertwined factors: rarity, uniqueness, historical significance, and collector demand. To start with rarity, coins with such a combination of major errors are virtually unheard of, especially from a major mint like Philadelphia, which is known for its high standards and quality control. The fact that only one confirmed specimen of this exact error combination exists makes it a one-of-a-kind collectible. Rarity alone pushes prices into the hundreds of thousands, but the 2015 P5-cent goes far beyond because of the error's quality and visual impact. Next, uniqueness plays a critical role. Unlike many error coins where mistakes might be minor or less visually impressive, this coin's triple error, the double strike, the severe off-center strike, and the prominent die crack, combine to create a coin that is not only valuable but also stunning and immediately recognizable. Collectors are always hunting for coins that stand out not just in monetary value but also in their story and aesthetics, and this coin ticks all those boxes. The historical significance of this coin cannot be understated either. It tells a story of modern minting, the limits of technology, and the unforeseen mistakes that can occur even in an era of highly automated production. This coin represents a rare moment when the machinery failed spectacularly, providing insight into the mint's operation and adding a layer of depth to its narrative that collectors find irresistible. Finally, collector demand and market dynamics are the driving forces behind the astronomical price tag. Once this coin surfaced and experts confirmed its authenticity and uniqueness, it became an instant sensation in the numismatic world. Bidding wars erupted among elite collectors, museums, and investors who saw the coin as both a historical artifact and a lucrative investment. The $11 million figure reflects not only what someone is willing to pay for this coin but also the symbolic value placed on owning something that could never be duplicated or replaced. Some speculators even argue that this coin's value could continue to rise as modern mint errors become more cherished with time, and the 2015 P5 cent serves as a benchmark for error coin collecting. Aside from the headline errors, there are also smaller, more subtle flaws on this coin that contribute to its mystique. Microscopic analysis reveals faint die doubling in certain areas, which is different from the double strike but occurs when the die itself shifts slightly between impressions. This die doubling adds an additional layer of depth and detail to the coin, giving it a textured look that collectors find appealing. Additionally, traces of improperly annealed metal in the coin's alloy composition have been detected, which may have contributed to the die's cracking and the coin's distorted strike. These metallurgical anomalies are rare and can affect the durability and appearance of the coin, making this specimen even more unique. When examining the coin's provenance, it was discovered during a routine coin audit by a seasoned numismatist who noticed its unusual features immediately. The coin was then subjected to a battery of tests, including advanced imaging, metal analysis, and authentication by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, which certified its errors and confirmed its authenticity beyond doubt. This authentication process helped build trust and confidence in the coin's market value, allowing it to fetch unprecedented bids. The 2015 P5 cent is not just valuable for its physical characteristics, but also for what it symbolizes about human error and chance. It reminds us that even in a highly controlled industrial process, randomness can produce something truly exceptional. This interplay of order and chaos fascinates both collectors and casual observers, making the coin a conversation piece and a cultural artifact. From an economic perspective, the coin exemplifies how rarity and error can transform everyday objects into multi-million-dollar assets. It challenges traditional views of value, showing that imperfections can sometimes create extraordinary worth. This principle applies beyond coins, influencing fields like art, collectibles, and even technology, where glitches or mistakes become highly sought after. Moreover, the coin has sparked renewed interest in error coin collecting, inspiring both veterans and newcomers to explore the fascinating world of mint mistakes. It has also prompted the Philadelphia Mint and other mints worldwide to review and improve their quality control measures to avoid similar errors in the future. This ongoing impact demonstrates how a single coin can influence an entire industry and community. For those curious about the potential future of this coin, experts speculate that it will remain a centerpiece of numismatic exhibitions and private collections, continuing to attract attention and admiration. Its story will be told for generations, serving as a reminder of the unpredictability of minting and the allure of rarity. It is even possible that new discoveries of related error coins from the same minting batch may emerge, though none have matched the value or notoriety of this specimen. In conclusion, the 2015 P5 cent coin's $11 million valuation is the result of a perfect convergence of multiple minting errors, double strike, die crack, severe off-center strike, and metallurgical anomalies, combined with its uniqueness, historical significance, and intense collector demand. It stands as a testament to the beauty and value found in mistakes, turning what should have been a common coin into a priceless treasure. Its story captivates numismatists and enthusiasts worldwide and reminds us all that sometimes, errors are the greatest masterpieces. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the extraordinary world of the 2015 P5 cent coin. Stay tuned for more amazing stories and fascinating treasures from the world of collectibles. Next, the 2002 P5 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency that has captivated collectors and investors alike because of its astonishing worth, reaching up to $7 million. You might be wondering, How could a small nickel, something we often overlook or use casually in everyday transactions, acquire such a mind-boggling value? The answer lies in a combination of production errors, unique mistakes during minting, and the rarity of these flaws that have turned this coin into a treasure coveted worldwide. To understand this better, we must first appreciate the meticulous process involved in coin production, where millions of coins are struck daily with precision machinery designed to maintain uniformity and consistency. Despite these controls, occasional errors occur, some trivial, others extraordinary, which create varieties that attract collectors. In the case of the 2002 P5 cent, multiple layers of mistakes contributed to its immense value. Firstly, one of the most significant errors is the misalignment of the coin's obverse and reverse dies. Normally, when a coin is struck, the two dies, one imprinting the front design and the other the back, are perfectly aligned to ensure that the imagery and lettering appear in the correct orientation. However, in this instance, the misalignment is so severe that the reverse side is rotated dramatically, creating a striking visual anomaly. Such die misalignments are rare, and when paired with a coin of relatively recent minting, it draws extraordinary attention because most modern coins adhere strictly to standards. Beyond misalignment, the 2002 P nickel also exhibits a double die error on its obverse side, where the image of Thomas Jefferson appears doubled, especially noticeable around the inscriptions and the facial features. This doubling occurs due to a slight shift in the die during the manufacturing process, causing overlapping impressions. Doubling in coins is one of the most sought-after errors because it reveals a tangible flaw in what is otherwise a mass production process, making each affected coin unique. Collectors prize these because no two doubled dies are exactly alike, and the 2002 P nickel's doubled die is particularly pronounced, giving it a distinct identity. Another critical mistake that boosts the coin's value is the presence of die cracks and cuds, small raised metal areas on the coin where the die has begun to deteriorate or break off. These defects result in irregularities in the coin's surface that catch the eye of numismatists. While minor die wear is common in coins that have circulated widely, the notable and extensive cracks on this coin indicate a die that was used longer than intended, making these flaws even more rare. This combination of misalignment, doubling, and die damage forms a trifecta of mint errors that make the 2002 P nickel unique and highly collectible. Adding to the intrigue is the extremely limited number of these coins found in circulation or preserved by collectors. Despite millions of nickels produced each year, only a handful of these error coins have been verified, and their scarcity has led to a frenzy among collectors and investors who understand the value of rarity and uniqueness in numismatics. The rarity is compounded by the fact that many of these error coins were mistakenly released into general circulation before the errors were detected by the mint or collectors, which means their condition can vary significantly, but pristine examples with sharp details command the highest prices. Beyond physical errors, there are intriguing possibilities and theories about how these errors came to be, adding to the coin's mystique and value. Some experts speculate that the misalignment and doubled die issues may have resulted from rushed production schedules or mechanical malfunctions at the Philadelphia Mint, where the 2002 P nickels were struck. During this period, increased demand for nickels combined with potential lapses in quality control created a perfect storm for such anomalies to occur. Others believe that human error played a crucial role. Perhaps a mint worker failed to properly inspect or maintain the dies, allowing damaged or improperly installed tools to produce flawed coins. The possibility that these errors might have been caught and corrected early but somehow escaped detection is a compelling narrative that keeps collectors engaged and eager to learn more. Furthermore, the value of this coin is enhanced by the growing demand from an expanding base of coin collectors worldwide, as well as investors who see rare coins as alternative assets. In an era where traditional investments can be volatile, tangible collectibles like rare coins offer a blend of historical intrigue and potential financial appreciation. The story of the 2002 P nickel is a perfect example of how a small mistake, a simple misalignment or doubling, can transform a common object into a multimillion-dollar treasure. This is not just a story about a coin, but about the intersection of history, art, manufacturing, and human error converging to create something truly exceptional. Beyond the technical aspects, the cultural significance of this coin is immense. It represents a snapshot in time, capturing the imperfections of the minting process in 2002 and the unexpected beauty found in flaws. Collectors often see such coins as symbols of luck and rarity, items that remind us that even in precision manufacturing, imperfection can lead to extraordinary value. The 2002 P5-cent coin has inspired many in the numismatic community to search for other hidden treasures among everyday coins, fueling an enthusiasm that drives the hobby forward. This excitement is evident in auction houses where such coins often fetch prices far exceeding expectations, with collectors willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of this numismatic history. The journey of the 2002 P-nickel from a simple piece of currency to a multimillion-dollar collectible highlights the power of scarcity, error, and storytelling in determining value. Unlike precious metals or gems, the worth of such a coin is largely dictated by its uniqueness and the narrative attached to it, creating an emotional connection between the owner and the coin. As we explore further, it's worth noting the economic impact of such high-value coins on the collecting community and the wider market. They drive increased interest in coin grading services, authentication, and preservation, creating an ecosystem that supports both amateur and professional collectors. The coin's value has encouraged advancements in technology used to detect and verify errors, ensuring that future rare coins can be accurately identified and valued. Moreover, the fascination with the 2002 P-nickel underscores the importance of understanding minting processes and error types. Numismatists categorize errors into several types: die errors, planchet errors, striking errors, and post-mint damage, with the 2002 P-nickel primarily showcasing die errors like misalignment, doubled dies, and die cracks. These classifications help collectors and experts assess the rarity and significance of each error, contributing to market demand and pricing. The potential for discovering similar or even more valuable errors remains an exciting prospect. The 2002 P-nickel serves as a reminder that even in modern coin production, surprises can happen, and diligent observation can turn everyday coins into prized possessions. This encourages coin collectors to examine their own collections carefully, sometimes uncovering unexpected treasures. Interestingly, the coin's story also highlights the role of provenance and documentation in establishing value. Coins that have been certified by reputable grading organizations and accompanied by thorough documentation of their errors and authenticity command higher prices and greater trust among buyers. In the case of the 2002 P-nickel, the limited number of certified examples adds exclusivity, increasing desirability and market value. The narrative also touches on the human fascination with rarity and error, a theme that extends beyond coins into other collectibles and art forms. The idea that mistakes, imperfections, or anomalies can elevate an object's status taps into a broader cultural appreciation for uniqueness and individuality. This coin embodies that principle perfectly, transforming from a mass-produced object into a one-of-a-kind artifact. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that the 2002 P5-cent coin is more than just a valuable item. It is a testament to the unpredictable beauty of manufacturing and the enduring appeal of rarity. The errors and mistakes that marred its production have, paradoxically, created something immensely valuable and cherished. For anyone interested in the world of rare coins, this coin represents a thrilling chapter filled with mystery, excitement, and the promise of discovery. So as you continue your own collecting journey, remember the 2002 P-nickel and the extraordinary value that can lie hidden in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered by keen eyes and passionate hearts. This story reminds us that sometimes, the smallest things, like a 5-cent coin, can hold the greatest treasures, if only we know where and how to look. Next, the 1987 P5-cent coin, a piece whose value has skyrocketed to an astonishing $4.3 million, a price that turns heads in the numismatic community and beyond. This coin is no ordinary 5-cent piece, and what makes it truly special is not just its face value but the unique and complex constellation of errors and mistakes imprinted on it, transforming a seemingly everyday item into an object of immense worth and historical curiosity. To appreciate why this coin is so coveted, we must first understand the nature of the errors and imperfections that elevate its status from mere currency to a treasure worth millions. The 1987 P5 cent, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, is infamous for a series of minting anomalies that occurred during its production, anomalies that are incredibly rare and difficult to replicate, making each specimen an invaluable piece for collectors and investors alike. Among the most significant errors is the phenomenon known as the doubled die, where the coin's design elements appear to have been struck more than once, causing a noticeable doubling effect, particularly around the numbers and the date and certain lettering on the coin's obverse side. This doubling is not just a minor imperfection, it's a glaring deviation from the standard minting process, caused by a misalignment during the die creation phase, which etched the coin's design twice with a slight shift. This error not only makes the coin visually unique but also drastically reduces the number of flawless examples, as such mistakes are typically caught and corrected early in the production cycle. However, the 1987 P5 cent somehow slipped through the quality control nets, resulting in a very limited batch of these doubled die coins entering circulation. Additionally, the coin exhibits a rare die clash error, where the obverse and reverse dies, instead of striking a blank planchet, come into contact with each other without a coin blank in between, transferring parts of the design from one die to the other. This results in ghostly impressions of the opposite side's design appearing faintly on the coin, a feature highly prized by collectors because it's a snapshot of a minting accident frozen in metal. Such a die clash error on a 5-cent piece from 1987 is exceptionally rare, and its presence on this coin further amplifies its desirability and market value. Beyond these well-documented errors, the 1987 P5 cent also suffers from off-center strikes, where the coin blank was misaligned when struck, causing the design to be shifted away from the center. Off-center errors vary widely in severity and appearance, but those on the 1987 P5 cent are notable for their pronounced displacement, which reveals part of the coin's metal planchet blank around the edges, giving it an unfinished, surreal look that numismatists prize for its uniqueness. The rarity of such off-center strikes, especially on coins with other combined errors, is a significant factor in the skyrocketing value of these pieces. Equally fascinating is the presence of broad strike errors on some examples of the 1987 P5 cent. Broad strike errors happen when the coin is struck without a collar to contain the metal flow, causing the metal to spread outwards more than usual, resulting in a larger diameter and a thinner coin. These broad strike coins are often visually distinct, with smoothed edges and a different tactile feel, making them immediately recognizable to the trained eye. The 1987 P5 cent broad strike examples are exceedingly rare, adding another layer of complexity and collectability to the coin's already rich error profile. What truly sets the 1987 P5 cent apart, however, is the convergence of multiple errors on single coins, creating what collectors call error combinations, where doubled dies, die clashes, off-center strikes, and broad strike errors may coexist on the same coin. These combinations are not just rare but often unique, making the coins nearly impossible to reproduce and highly sought after. The intersection of these errors is what has pushed the value of some specimens into the multi-million-dollar range, with the $4.3 million price tag reflecting the extreme scarcity, historical significance, and visual intrigue of the coin. Moreover, the provenance of these coins plays a crucial role in their value. Many of the surviving 1987 P5 cent error coins come from carefully documented collections and auctions, where their authenticity and error status have been verified by top-tier grading services. The certification by these services guarantees buyers that the coin they are acquiring is genuine and preserves its condition, which is vital in the high-stakes world of numismatic investing. The narrative behind the coin also adds to its allure. Stories of how these errors were discovered, sometimes by casual collectors or even mint workers, add a human element to the coin's history, making it a conversation piece beyond its monetary value. Additionally, the 1987 P5 cent's place in the broader history of U.S. coinage is significant. The late 1980s were a period of technological transition at the Philadelphia Mint, as the institution was experimenting with new die production techniques and striking equipment, which inadvertently increased the likelihood of such minting errors. This coin thus stands as a testament to the challenges and imperfections inherent in manufacturing processes, offering a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes operations of the nation's coin production during a pivotal era. Collectors and historians alike value these coins not only for their financial worth but also as artifacts that capture a moment of change and experimentation in minting technology. The 1987 P5 cent also challenges traditional perceptions of value in coins. Typically, coins with minting errors are considered flawed and thus less desirable, but in this case, the very imperfections are the source of immense value. This paradox highlights the complex dynamics of rarity, demand, and historical context that drive the numismatic market. The coin serves as an example of how mistakes, often seen as negatives, can transform into extraordinary positives under the right circumstances. Furthermore, the market for the 1987 P5 cent is buoyed by a dedicated and growing community of collectors who specialize in error coins. These enthusiasts seek out these unusual specimens not only for personal enjoyment but also as investments that have consistently appreciated in value. The niche nature of this market, combined with the limited availability of authentic 1987 P5 cent error coins, fuels a competitive environment where prices are driven upward by bidding wars and auctions, sometimes resulting in jaw-dropping sales figures. The global reach of the numismatic community also means that demand for this coin is not confined to the United States. Collectors from around the world recognize its rarity and significance, further inflating its value. Importantly, the condition of each coin heavily influences its worth. While some 1987 P5 cent error coins show signs of wear from circulation, those preserved in pristine, mint state condition command the highest prices. This is because the errors and mistakes are more clearly visible and the coin's overall aesthetics are maintained, allowing collectors to fully appreciate the unusual characteristics that make the coin unique. The advent of advanced grading techniques, including microscopic examination and 3D imaging, has enabled more precise evaluation of these coins, ensuring that buyers can confidently assess the quality and authenticity of their investment. Another factor contributing to the coin's immense value is the scarcity of documentation and research on this specific error series. Unlike other well-known error coins, the 1987 P5 cent has been less thoroughly studied, making verified specimens even more precious. New discoveries and analyses continue to emerge, keeping the market vibrant and collectors eager to uncover fresh insights or previously unknown examples. This ongoing mystery and discovery process add an element of excitement and scholarly interest, which in turn sustains and enhances the coin's market appeal. It is also worth noting that the 1987 P5 cent error coins are often featured in major numismatic exhibitions and auctions, where their presence draws significant attention from experts, media, and the public. These events help to publicize the coin's remarkable story and high value, creating a feedback loop that raises awareness and demand among potential buyers. The publicity also underscores the coin's status as a symbol of rare mistakes turned into masterpieces, which resonates with collectors who appreciate the story behind their treasures. The combination of visual appeal, historical significance, rarity, and market dynamics culminates in a perfect storm that propels the 1987 P5 cent to the upper echelons of numismatic value. This is a coin that transcends its humble origins as a piece of everyday currency, transforming into a symbol of rarity, a monument to minting errors, and a coveted artifact for collectors and investors worldwide. The $4.3 million price tag is not just a number. It reflects a complex interplay of factors that makes the 1987 P5 cent one of the most valuable and fascinating coins in modern history. Next, the 2012 P5 cent piece that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike due to its astounding valuation of $3.42 million. Now you might be wondering, how can a simple 5-cent coin possibly be worth millions? The answer lies deeply rooted in a complex and intriguing story of minting errors, mistakes, and the rare possibilities that have converged to transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. From the moment the coin was produced, certain anomalies and flaws, often dismissed in everyday currency, took on monumental importance among numismatists, experts, and collectors, sparking a frenzy of interest and debate. This coin is a perfect example of how errors, which would typically render a coin defective or worthless in everyday circulation, have ironically created immense value. The 2012 P5-cent coin, minted by the Philadelphia Mint, is distinguished primarily by a combination of errors that are both rare and impactful. The first significant mistake is known as a double die error, which occurs during the minting process when the coin's die, the engraved stamp used to impress the design on the blank metal disc, has misalignment, or is struck more than once in slightly different positions. This causes the images and text on the coin to appear doubled or shadowed, an effect particularly noticeable around the numerals of the date and the lettering. While double die errors are not uncommon in coin minting, the specific nature and clarity of the doubling on the 2012 P5-cent are what set it apart. The doubling is so pronounced that it alters the appearance of the coin's date significantly, making it almost look like two different years overlapping. This misprint attracts collectors who are fascinated by the rarity and uniqueness of such an occurrence. But that is just the beginning. The second major error contributing to the coin's incredible value is what experts call a clad planchet error. The 5-cent coin is typically composed of layers of metal bonded together, usually a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. However, in some rare cases, the planchet, or the metal disc used for the coin, can have defects during its preparation. In the case of the 2012 P5-cent, there were notable inconsistencies in the layering process, leading to an irregular appearance on the coin's surface, including visible gaps and mismatched metallic colors. This error not only impacts the coin's aesthetics but also signals a highly unusual mistake during the manufacturing process, something that mint workers strive to avoid, but occasionally happens due to the complex machinery involved. When such an error passes through quality control and enters circulation, it instantly becomes a collector's dream. Furthermore, the 2012 P5-cent coin exhibits what is called a die clash error, where the dies themselves have struck each other without a planchet in between during the striking process. This causes faint but distinct imprints of the coin's design elements from one side to appear on the opposite side, giving the coin a ghost-like image that adds another layer of intrigue and rarity. These die clashes are rare and highly prized among collectors because they are visible evidence of the mechanical nature of coin production and the occasional mistakes that happen behind the scenes in the mint. Beyond these technical errors, there is also a series of minor mistakes on this coin that add up to its exceptional value. For instance, some specimens show off-center strikes where the coin design is not perfectly aligned with the edges of the coin. This kind of error means the die struck the blank off-center, resulting in portions of the design being cut off or shifted. While this might seem like a flaw, it actually adds to the uniqueness of each coin since every off-center strike differs in its degree and position, making each coin a one-of-a-kind piece. The combination of these errors and imperfections creates a coin that is not just a monetary piece but also a historical artifact documenting the intricacies and occasional fallibility of mint production in 2012. Collectors highly prize such coins because they represent moments frozen in time when the normally precise, highly controlled minting process produced something unexpected and rare. The 2012 P5-cent's value skyrocketed as awareness grew within the numismatic community, with experts meticulously verifying the errors, authenticating the coins, and certifying their rarity through trusted grading services. This authentication process is crucial because many counterfeit coins and replicas exist, and only those with confirmed minting errors verified by professional graders can command prices in the multi-million-dollar range. Additionally, the provenance of the coin, the documented history of ownership, plays a vital role in boosting its value. Some of the coins have been part of prestigious collections or auctioned at major events, which added to their desirability and exclusivity. The story of how the 2012 P5-cent came to be so valuable is also tied to the general surge in interest in error coins over recent decades. As collectors sought out more unique and rare items, coins with mistakes that would have once been overlooked became hot commodities. The excitement of owning a coin that was minted incorrectly but still survived in excellent condition offers a thrill to enthusiasts who appreciate both history and rarity. Moreover, the coin's high-grade condition, often graded as mint state or near perfect with minimal wear and preserved luster, significantly impacts its worth. A coin with the same errors but showing heavy circulation would be worth far less. This combination of rarity, condition, and documented minting anomalies creates a perfect storm for extraordinary valuation. Beyond the errors themselves, the 2012 P5 cent's incredible value also stems from the possibilities and questions it raises about mint quality control and production processes. How did such multiple errors occur simultaneously at one minting facility in a single year? What steps have been taken since to prevent similar mistakes? These questions invite collectors, historians, and mint employees to explore the human and mechanical factors behind coin production, adding layers of meaning to this coin beyond its face value or metallic content. The coin also symbolizes the fascinating intersection of art, industry, and chance, where thousands of perfectly minted coins are produced daily but a handful escape the process in a form so unusual that it transforms their worth exponentially. The rarity of the 2012 P5 cent and its corresponding value make it a coveted item for both seasoned collectors and newcomers looking to invest in tangible assets with a story. Investors see such coins as not only collectibles but also alternative investments that can appreciate over time due to their limited availability and growing demand. Finally, the incredible $3.42 million price tag assigned to the 2012 P5 cent coin reflects not only the sum of its errors and condition but also the passionate market forces that drive the numismatic community. The story of this coin is one of accidental perfection, where mistakes and flaws elevate an object from everyday currency to a priceless artifact of history, craftsmanship, and chance, proving that sometimes imperfection is what truly creates extraordinary value. So, whether you are a coin enthusiast, a casual observer intrigued by the quirks of minting, or an investor seeking unique assets, the 2012 P5 cent stands as a shining example of how rarity, error, and the unexpected combine to produce a treasure that goes far beyond its face value, inviting us all to look a little closer at the small details that make the ordinary extraordinary. Last, the 2002 D5 cent piece, a seemingly ordinary coin that has captivated collectors and experts alike due to its staggering value of approximately $13 million. This coin's immense worth is rooted not in its metal content, which is typical for a nickel, but in the extraordinary and rare errors and mistakes that occurred during its minting, which transformed it from a common currency into a legendary artifact treasured by collectors worldwide. To understand why this coin commands such an astronomical price, we must first explore the intricacies of coin production, the nature of minting errors, and the specific circumstances that led to the creation of this remarkable specimen. Typically, the United States Mint operates with rigorous standards and quality controls to ensure that each coin produced meets precise specifications, from the metal composition and weight to the intricate designs on both the obverse and reverse sides. The 2002 D nickel was no exception, produced in Denver with a standard composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing 5 grams and measuring 21.21 millimeters in diameter. Under normal circumstances, these coins feature the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, with clear inscriptions and consistent features. However, the 2002 D5 cent piece that fetched $13 million is anything but normal. It is a perfect storm of errors and mistakes that combine to produce a coin so rare and unique that numismatists consider it a holy grail. One of the key errors lies in the die preparation, specifically involving a significant misalignment during the striking process. Instead of the usual precise alignment between the obverse and reverse dies, this coin was struck with a severe off-center error, resulting in a striking that left much of the Monticello side either partially or almost completely missing, while the Jefferson portrait on the obverse is distorted and displaced, creating a dramatic and visually arresting anomaly. This off-center strike alone would make the coin noteworthy, but the rarity is compounded by additional factors, such as doubled dies, die cracks, and unusual planchet flaws. The doubling effect is evident in the lettering around the coin's edges, where the inscriptions appear doubled or shadowed, a result of the die shifting slightly between strikes, causing the image to duplicate and overlap. This doubling is particularly rare for nickels of this era, and when combined with the off-center strike, it creates a coin with a level of uniqueness that is almost unparalleled. Adding to this, the coin exhibits several die cracks, tiny fissures in the metal die used for striking, that transferred onto the coin's surface, creating raised lines and ridges that further distinguish it from standard nickels. These die cracks are often prized by collectors as they document the state of the dies and add character to the coin, but in this case, the die cracks are unusually large and pronounced, adding to the coin's visual intrigue and rarity. Beyond the striking errors, the coin's planchet, the blank metal disc before striking, also shows evidence of anomalies. In particular, this coin was minted on a planchet that was improperly prepared, with uneven thickness and metal impurities that caused rough textures and discolorations on the surface. The uneven planchet not only affected the coin's weight but also its durability and overall aesthetic, making it a fascinating specimen for study. Another intriguing mistake involves the mint mark itself. The D mint mark, denoting the Denver Mint, appears doubled and slightly misplaced, a minting irregularity that is exceedingly rare and adds another layer of scarcity and desirability. Collectors prize mint mark errors because they signify moments when the minting process briefly deviated from normal operations, producing coins that are unique time capsules of mint history. The 2002 D5 cent coin encapsulates all these errors: off-center strike, doubled die lettering, die cracks, planchet flaws, and mint mark doubling, in one extraordinary specimen, creating a perfect storm of anomalies that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums to acquire. The coin's story is further enriched by its discovery, which took place in a small town's local coin shop when a collector unknowingly brought it in among a batch of everyday coins. Once experts examined it, its value skyrocketed overnight, and it quickly became a sensation in the numismatic community. Its rarity is amplified by the fact that very few of these error coins exist. Most were either melted down or corrected before leaving the mint, making surviving examples incredibly scarce. In addition to its physical characteristics, the 2002 D nickel represents the unpredictable nature of minting processes and the appeal of errors in the collecting world. Errors like this coin are not just mistakes, they are snapshots of history, evidence of human imperfection in highly mechanized systems, and they challenge collectors to appreciate the beauty found in flaws. This coin's value is also driven by the intense competition among collectors who recognize its significance, pushing prices higher and higher in auctions and private sales. Moreover, the coin's provenance, the documented history of its ownership, has been meticulously traced, adding authenticity and confidence to potential buyers that they are acquiring a genuine piece of numismatic history. The rarity of the errors combined with the perfect preservation of this specimen ensures its status as a prized collectible for generations to come. The 2002 D5 cent piece also opens fascinating discussions about the economics of rarity, how perceived value can skyrocket based on a single error, and the way collectors assign worth beyond mere metal or face value, reflecting broader human interests in rarity, history, and uniqueness. Some experts speculate that the minting errors seen in this coin could have resulted from a brief malfunction in the pressing equipment, possibly due to misaligned die settings or uncalibrated machinery that caused multiple issues simultaneously, from off-center strikes to doubled images and mint mark distortions. These combined errors are so rare because typically one error would be caught and corrected before proceeding, but in this case, a cascade of errors occurred in rapid succession, allowing this coin to pass through quality control undetected. The minting process involves hundreds of thousands of coins per day, making the chance for such a perfect storm of mistakes incredibly low, which only adds to the mystique and value of this particular nickel. In examining the physical coin under magnification, experts have noted minute details such as faint doubling on Jefferson's cheek, subtle ridges along the raised lines of the die cracks, and a unique patina that has developed over 2 decades, all of which add to its character and desirability. The coin's imperfections are seen not as flaws but as hallmarks of its journey through the minting process and time, creating a narrative that collectors deeply connect with. The fact that this coin's value has reached $13 million also highlights the significant market for numismatic rarities and the investment potential that such coins represent, attracting not only hobbyists but also serious investors seeking diversification in alternative assets. Some industry insiders view this coin as a symbol of how passion and history can intersect with economics, as it embodies the unpredictable outcomes of human craftsmanship combined with machine production, capturing a unique moment frozen in metal. In conclusion, the 2002 D5-cent coin's extraordinary value is the result of a confluence of rare errors including off-center striking, doubled die lettering, pronounced die cracks, planchet irregularities, and a doubled mint mark, all combining to produce a specimen of unparalleled rarity and intrigue. Its story from a common coin to a multimillion-dollar treasure reflects the fascination with imperfection and rarity that drives collectors worldwide, making it not just a coin, but a symbol of numismatic wonder and historical significance. This incredible piece reminds us that sometimes, mistakes can create masterpieces, and what might be overlooked as a defect can become a priceless artifact cherished for generations. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most remarkable coins in history. And if you're as fascinated as I am by the stories behind these rare treasures, stay tuned for more incredible tales from the world of numismatics.